That's right, we are finally starting to get new release games in 2023, and I picked up two of the bigger ones to come out in January. Once again, I was in the neighborhood, so I figured I'd check out Cash America, see what they got, if anything. Let's go see. Okay, so I picked up a few things in there. They didn't have a whole lot different from when I was there last time, but they had a few things, so I figured I'd snag them. First off, we have Dark Void on the Xbox 360. I have this digitally. I don't have a physical copy, and I figured, why not? That way I've got a physical copy in case they delist it or something. And then I got Cars Mater National on the Wii. It's in good condition. It's complete. Didn't have it. I don't want to pull it out because it's kind of hard to hold while holding everything else I'm holding. But I also got a camo PS4 controller. And I got it for $20, which is not bad. It's not worth trading in, but I think it's worth holding on to as kind of a backup. So I'll snag it and I'll test it. Maybe I'll test it with Corey's PS4 and see if that allows us to play multiplayer or something. But yeah, I figured I'd snag it. It's not a terrible price for $20. So, but yeah, that's what I got. 2 games. I'm gonna check a couple more pawn shops and then head to GameStop and see what I come away with from there. I don't go to this pawn shop very often because it's always overpriced. But I figured, let's check it. Maybe there'll be something decent. So let's go in and check Queen of Pawns. Yeah, nothing in there. As you saw, they had a good collection of games, and there were 3 that I was tempted to grab if they were the right price, and of course they were not. They had Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, and Dying Light 2. And all of those are worth like almost $10 in trade in a GameStop. They wanted $13 for each game, so that's a hard no for me. But yeah, as expected, did not come away with anything. So we'll see if maybe the last pawn shop I go to will have something, and then I'm gonna head to GameStop. Probably not gonna pick up anything there, but we'll see. I'm probably just gonna put everything towards a pre-order, so we'll see what happens. Since I'm over here, I figured I'd check Value Pawn just to see if they got anything. I highly doubt it, but might as well check. Let's go. Yeah, like I expected, nothing in there. They barely had any games, and the ones they had just weren't worth grabbing, either for collection or for trading in. So, oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, now I'm gonna head to GameStop, where I'm probably gonna trade in one game that I have a double of now, and return some stuff, and probably not pick up anything, but if I do, I'll share it. All right, it is a new day, and I have a few more online pickups. One from Amazon, and actually 2 from BigCTV, which has become a regular place for me to pick up games on this channel. But again, I think I did pretty well with these pickups. So we'll start off with the game that I've seen on sale a lot lately. I've heard it's okay. A lot of people really don't like it, but it sounds interesting, and I figure it's worth giving a shot. I mostly grabbed it because Amazon had it for $10, which is by far the lowest price I've seen for it. And I figured, for $10, might as well give it a shot. We have Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song on the Xbox Series X. This is kind of a narrative style adventure, kind of like the Dontnod or Telltale style games, but for Vampire the Masquerade. Looks interesting. Figure it's worth a check out. And it was only $10, so can't go wrong there. So for BGP this time, they actually had a deal where they were really showcasing all the reprints that they did recently, and they had, a few more that I thought were going to be worth grabbing. Of course, I already picked up Attack on Titan and a few of the other more expensive reprints, but I picked up 2 more. One of them is definitely a more expensive game. The other one, I mostly just wanted to complete the collection, and this game is pretty hard to find, and it looks good, so I figured I'd grab it. So for starters, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 the Torna the Golden Country expansion on the Switch. Now, what's interesting about this, there's some confusion about it, because it's apparently the expansion pass that came out for Xenoblade 2, but on a chip. And it may or may not also come with DLC codes for it, so I'm not 100% sure, but I paid, I think, $60 for this. But this is a pretty uncommon game. You really don't find it, especially sealed. So I figured I'd grab it and complete my Xenoblade collection. Now I have all of the mainline Xenoblade games, including X on the Wii U. So pretty happy with that. And my brother is, I'm sure, going to be happy about that as well, because he's a huge Xenoblade fan. And then this one just looked interesting. Out of all the reprint games that I didn't already have, most of which are kind of obscure JRPGs from Koei Tecmo, this one seemed really interesting, so I figured I'd grab it. I'll keep it sealed for now. Maybe eventually I'll play it, but we'll see. We have Berserk and the Band of the Hawk on the PS4. Apparently this is like a Dynasty Warriors type game, but dark and violent. Sounds really interesting. I've heard good things about it, and again, this is a very expensive game. I think, well, I'll go into values later, but this is a pretty hard game to find, especially sealed. So again, I figured I'd grab it from BGP. So 3 more games to add to the collection in a kind of light week, but we're not done, because we got some more stuff coming, including a collector's edition and another new release game, because that's right, we are finally starting to get new release games in 2023, and I picked up 2 of the bigger ones to come out in January, so we'll check those out next. Alright, well, it is a new day, and I have received the first of 2 brand new release games that are coming out this month. There isn't like a ton of brand new release stuff coming out in January. Usually it's a pretty slow month, but this month we actually had a couple pretty big ones. And this one I ordered a while ago and ended up getting the special edition, mostly because A, when Nintendo releases a special edition, it's usually really good quality. And B, I am curious about the series, and this particular game looks like it's probably the one that's going to get me to like jump in and check it out. So I figured it was worth grabbing the collection edition. So we have the Fire Emblem Engage Divine Edition on the Nintendo Switch. This thing is massive. Comes with the game, a steelbook, an art book, art cards, and a poster. So there's a lot of good stuff in this. Of course, I did an unboxing on the channel, so be sure to check that out if you want to see everything that is included in the Divine Edition. But I'm pretty excited to add to the collection. But we still got one more game that releases on Tuesday to pick up, so let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, it is time for our final recap of a kind of eclectic and somewhat small week. We picked up some pretty big heavy hitters. We're going to go over those in a sec. First off, I did want to cover the final new release game that I picked up this past week. And it's funny because this game you'd think would be everywhere because it's being promoted as this big PlayStation 5 exclusive game. But my local GameStop, and apparently all the GameStops in the nearby area, didn't have any copies. So I had to wait a few extra days, but it did finally come in. And the best part, of course, is I paid for this game entirely in trade-in credit. Did not pay a dime out of pocket. Pretty happy. We have Forspoken on the PS5. This game looks interesting. I've heard very mixed things. Some people have said it's very good. Some people have said it's very not. I'll find out for myself. It's a PS5 exclusive. It looks interesting. I figured it was worth getting a shot, especially if I can get it for nothing out of pocket. So, yeah, picked up Forspoken on PS5. Maybe it's a game I'll try on the channel. We'll see. I am looking for a new game to start playing personally because I just finished Midnight Suns and I haven't decided yet what it might be. So maybe it'll be Forspoken. Who knows? Anyway, I paid $70 in credit for this, and it is worth $70 because it is a new release game. All right, now we're going to get to the other major release pickup of this week. And if you haven't already seen it, I did an unboxing of this collector's edition. So be sure to check it out if you have not already seen it. It's pretty epic. But we have the Divine Edition of Fire Emblem Engage on the Nintendo Switch. Comes with it a lot of really cool stuff. I'm keeping pretty much everything in this box except for the game and the steelbook. Those I'm keeping in, well, the game I'm keeping in my game case, and then the Steelbook I'm keeping with the rest of my Switch games. But yeah, pretty awesome game. It looks good. That's another contender for a game that I might try to start as my new personal play game. But it looks cool, and I'm glad I was able to get the Divine Edition, especially because according to price charting, now this might be a little inflated, but according to price charting, I paid $100, and this game, according to them, is worth $284 in value. So, yeah, apparently this game's worth a lot. Now, I still do see it go up on various retailers on occasion, and I think like the Metroid Dread and Bayonetta special editions, I think Nintendo is going to continue to drip feed them. So if you're worried about not being able to find one, just keep on the lookout on social media, especially follow Wario64, Cheap Ass Gamer. Those two post all the time when more uncommon games appear on retail sites. So just keep an eye out. I know Amazon had a drop recently at Fire Emblem Engage, and a few other places did too. So if you really want the Divine Edition and didn't pre-order it, keep an eye out. You might be able to find it later on. But right now, it's worth a lot of money. Now we're going to go to Cash America. I didn't find much when I went to Cash America, but I picked up 2 games and an accessory. I think they were solid pickups. First, we have Dark Void on the Xbox 360. I do have this game digitally, but I didn't have a physical copy. No manual, but the disc is in good shape, and it also comes with the original cover art, which is kind of nice. That one I paid $2 and it's worth $6 in complete form. Next, we have Cars Mater National on the Wii. I tried to peel this sticker off, by the way, and it's like used to the case. So I'm just going to leave it. I don't like having stickers plastered on my games, but I don't want to damage the case, so I'm just going to leave the sticker on here. And maybe if I find a better Wii case, I'll swap it for this one. But anyway, it's a Cars racing game. I've heard pretty decent things about it. Paid $2, and this one is worth $6 as well on the Wii. And then the other big pickup I made from Cash America, and this was kind of a gamble. I think it's a good pickup, although after I got it, I realized that it's not worth really flipping. So I guess I just got myself an extra PS4 controller. But we have a camo DualShock 4 for the PS4. The other irony part of this is that I don't currently have a PS4. I loaned my PS4 to my brother because he really wanted to play Bloodborne. So my younger brother Greg has it. So I don't really have a need for this second controller. I might let him borrow it, or I might keep it because Corey has a PS4, so maybe if he wants to have a second person, I don't know. Either way, I have a second controller. Paid $20, which is a really good price for a controller. Not for trade-in, but still. $20 is pretty good for a controller. And it is worth $31. So yeah, did pretty well on that one. Now we have our last 3 games, which are all new release, or new sealed games. 1 from Amazon and 2 from BGP. I've been buying a lot from BGP lately, mostly because they tend to have a lot of more uncommon or games you don't normally find sealed in stock. And their prices are pretty good too, so it's definitely worth it. But anyway, the first game I picked up is Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song on the Xbox Series X. I mostly picked this up because I got it for $10, which is really good. GameStop's had it on clearance for a while, but not for that cheap. So $10 for a brand new sealed copy, and it is worth $30. So really good pickup there for the value. I don't know when I'll get around to playing it, but I have it. And then my last 2 games are VGP. Both of these are pretty expensive games, if we're being completely honest. I mostly got them because A, they're uncommon, and B, they're worth a lot. So first off, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Golden Country expansion on the Switch. So this is essentially the expansion pass for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on a chip. Doesn't include the original game, just the expansion pass, but supposedly it also includes a DLC code. I haven't opened it. I'm not sure I'm going to, at least not yet. But supposedly this has both the expansion pass on a chip and the actual code for it, which is an odd choice because if you have the code, why do the chip? I don't know. Whatever. This game's kind of hard to find, along with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I have 2, so I figured I needed to complete the collection. This was the last one I was missing. So anyway, I paid up for this. $45 and it's worth 60, so definitely a solid pickup there. And then the big hitter of the week, well, I originally thought it was the big hitter, but apparently Fire Emblem Engage the Divine Edition is. This game looks interesting. It was reprinted on BGP. It looks cool, actually. I don't know yet if I want to open it or not, but I mean, it does look like a pretty decent game, so maybe I will. We have Berserk and the Band of the Hawk on the PS4. This is a very expensive game. It seems like a lot of Koei Tecmo published stuff, especially on the PS4. They didn't print a lot of it, so they're pretty difficult games to find. But they had a recent reprint of this, and I'm glad I picked it up. It looks good. I paid $60 for this, so full retail, but it's worth $113. So yeah, we have some pretty big hitter games this week. Of course, I picked up this big expensive collector's edition, a couple expensive games from VGP, and then a few pawn shop pickups and a cheap Amazon game. But I think I did pretty well overall, and when you see the overall value, yeah. Now again, I did want to state, there's a very good chance that the Fire Emblem Engage price is a little inflated, so it probably won't be accurate in not too long, but that, according to price charting, that is what it is worth. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. That way you know when new videos drop. We drop new episodes of this series every week on Friday, and we're trying to drop some other stuff throughout the course of the week, like unboxing and gameplay series, all that good stuff. I am going to get back to Ghostwire Tokyo if I have not already started it again. I just haven't really felt like playing it lately, but that is the series that I'm currently working on the channel, so I'll get back to it, and we'll keep progressing through Spooky Tokyo shortly. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on the Bargain Game Hunter. Bye-bye.